The NFL's Final Four is set. We will look back at this weekend's games and look ahead to next Sunday. Plus, DY, was it a catch? Was it not a catch? Did the Dallas Cowboys get robbed? We'll get DY's thoughts on that and take your calls as well tonight on After the Game with Darrel Young.
Live from News Channel 8, this is After the Game with Darrel Young.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight on After the Game with Darrel Young. I'm Alex Parker. Darrel Young, DY, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Is that a Dallas Cowboys tie? What is this?
No, I can't do that, man.
It sure looks like it to me.
No, you definitely know I'm not a fan.
Okay. Folks, thanks for being with us on a little bit late because of the breaking news this evening. Before we talk about the team still playing, your team has a new general manager, Scott McCloughan. What do you know about this fellow? What do you make of this?
It's a good move for us. I think, we're in a situation right now where we're struggling on the field, so, changes have to be made. He's one of those guys that, had success in Seattle. So, looking forward to what we could do, from here on out. I mean, not saying bring in good players because I think we have a good team. We just got to, get some structure and, find out what we're trying to do with this thing and where we're trying to go and go forward from there.
It appears his main duty is picking players and presumably managing the roster and deciding which players to add, to keep, to take away. I know if we had one of those folks here, I'd be wanting to, hey, this is what we do here. Is there a tendency for you to want to say to Scott McCloughan, hi, I'm Darrel Young. This is what I do here, or do you let him figure that out on his own?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the situation, like I said, Seattle's they're a dynasty right now. I mean, regardless of what you want to call them, they're a team who, they're the reigning champs right now, So, looking at everything that they did so far, looking last year and where he's going and the personnel that they have and every position that, people talk about that they have on the field is they're the greatest at their, position. So, obviously, the GM has a part in that. So, looking at that, I mean, we're happy about it, Of course, I want to say hi because I want to keep my job and, you want to, meet the people who take over, from Bruce, and Bruce knows this and doing charities and stuff like that with him. But, I'm excited.
You have not met him yet, Scott McCloughan. Make sure he knows who DY is.
I will.
We want to keep DY in D.C. 703-387-1020 is our lawn and leisure hotline if you want to talk with DY about football, either the games this weekend, which were great, or looking ahead to next weekend, or his football team, the Washington Redskins. The Des Bryant play that you can't go 15 feet in the newsroom or anywhere, frankly, in North America without somebody saying, what'd you think? Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? DY, what'd you think? Was it a catch? Not a catch?
It wasn't a catch. I don't feel bad. If you go back a couple of weeks when we played the New York Giants, it happened to Robert Griffin. He was in the end zone. I thought he scored, but I don't feel bad at all. But it sucks because ending the season like that and knowing the way the calls could have went, but the same I guess who the Cowboys beat the week before. That's how that team feels, So
Detroit.
Yeah. So about that controversial call. So it is what it is. It happened. The referees made the call, and I'm happy. I can't wait to talk to Tanya tonight.
Oh, DY with a salvo. Our lawn and leisure hotline, Tanya Martinsburg. The number is 703-387-1020. The officiating. It was a week ago, the Lions game, questionable call. Here we are, second week in a row with a questionable call. I know you can't talk about officials. You play in this league. Are you worried that fans, DY, are going to start thinking, man, every week it's something?
At the end of the day, you can't put a fan in a situation that a referee's in because a lot of guys haven't played the game and don't understand the rules of the game. So looking at it from that perspective, I mean, I respect every fan's opinion because obviously they play to see guys play at a high level and do what they do best. And looking at like I said, the referees, I'm in no situation to judge because they can't tell me how to play fullback. I can't tell them when to throw a flag. I could just argue with them and say some words that are not nice, but at the same time, I mean, fans are who they are. You just got to be happy and just go out there and just play football.
Are you surprised that a call went against the Dallas Cowboys? A week ago, I think a lot of folks out there thought this thing was, I don't want to use the word fixed, but that they would get the benefit of the doubt because they are or were America's team. They generate more interest than any other team in football. And here they are on the wrong end of karma, perhaps, just a week later.
I think, it just wasn't their time right now. I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl since '95, I believe, and looking forward to what they did up until this. They had a great season. They had a remarkable run. Had some things happen, in the running game, the passing game. Tony Romo making the Pro Bowl, getting his fan base back. They did some remarkable things on the football field. But I'm never going to be excited about that because, like I said, I'm a Redskin. So
you really don't like them?
I can't say I don't like them. I appreciate my fans and what I do. So I can't root for another team.
But I mean, Dallas, really, we've talked before for maybe the last, I don't know, we've talked a long time in this city about whether that rivalry still really resonates the way it used to back in the day. But for you, a current player, you don't like them.
I don't like
more
them
than you dislike other teams.
I don't like them when we're in between the white lines, but I respect everyone, that puts on that uniform and goes out there on a daily basis because I understand the grind, what it takes to get to this level. So I respect all of them as players and what they do, on a daily basis. But at the same time, I'm not going to respect them, when we're in between the white lines. I'm going to strap up my helmet and go try to do what I do best.
We will talk about other football teams other than the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm told DY on line 4 is Tanya in Martinsburg, West Virginia tonight. She's a Cowboys fan, and she's a loyal viewer. Hi, Tanya.
Hello, Alex. Hello, DY.
Hello.
At the beginning of the fourth quarter yesterday with my Cowboys, I was mad as hell because the Cowboys were not putting Aaron on the ground. So I was hot and mad about that. Yes, it was a catch. Dallas could have did different things during the game to make sure they had a victory, but we're not criers. And we don't blame it on the refs and what have you. The league has figured it out. No need for you to be happy. You still ain't going nowhere for the next 5 years.
Okay, Tanya, thank you. Tanya Martinsburg, thank you. We got to get Tanya up in the studio.
You got to appreciate it. Anyone that says that, you got to appreciate it because at the end of the day, they're at home with me right now, so it doesn't matter. There's only one team happy, so I appreciate you calling.
Tanya, thank you for calling on our Law and Leisure hotline. We got to do a break. When we come back, we will talk about the rest of the teams. There were 4 other teams other than the Dallas Cowboys. They're playing for something still. We'll get DY's thoughts moving forward. And a reminder, if you've watched this show for this football season, you know that we're going to give away to the left of DY is this big green egg. We have a winner. And we appreciate everybody for entering the contest. We will announce that winner on next Monday night show. When we come back, we'll talk about the NFL's Final Four. Don't go away. Here's your injury report brought to you by the Cochran Law Firm. First out, Denver. Peyton Manning may have played his last game. Found out reports say that Manning has been playing for a month or so with a strained quad. It sure looked like it yesterday. And how about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers? He tore his left calf muscle at the end of the season and then played like that yesterday against Dallas. Wow, that is your Cochran Law Firm injury report. Welcome back to the show. Alex Barker, Darrel Young, DY, Aaron Rodgers. What a performance this guy had on what appeared to be essentially one leg.
He's one of those guys, like I said, how I feel about Peyton Manning, he's one of those guys, too, that you don't feel comfortable with at any situation in the game because you never know what you're going to get from him. He shows up every day, and I'm not surprised at all by what he did in his performance.
There's a tendency to focus on folks' physical gifts, and Peyton Manning's got an arm, and he's got and Aaron Rodgers certainly has the arm and mobility. Some of these guys just seem, and Russell Wilson too, they seem so smart, and they seem to have almost won plays before the ball's even snapped. You get the sense that they have already figured it out before the play has started. You play this game. Does that happen a lot during a game where you know pre-snap this is going to work?
When I'm in the game, I do, just because, defenses give us a different look. But when you're in on third down situations and, the defense is giving you some nickel pressures and stuff that something that happened the week before that was successful, you're going to get it. So obviously, the teams that beat them, teams are going to go back to that film and wonder how, how things happen, what they do to, put them in an uncomfortable situation. For a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you just got to hope that your pass rush gets there, and his offensive line is really good. He doesn't really get touch much, and he can run. So, looking at, what he does on a daily basis, I mean, he's really good, and we'll see what happens this week on one leg. I don't know if he can get away from that Seattle defensive line this week.
Speaking of Seattle's defense, Cam Chancellor, obviously renowned as a safety, maybe the best safety in all of football. D.Y., you play special teams. Have you ever seen anything like this? He jumped over the line twice, timed it like he was Carl Lewis. Who does this?
I've seen a couple guys attempt to do it, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone get through clean because, guys usually stand up. The long snapper might stand up, but they haven't put that on film, and it's a credit to the special teams coach, for putting them in that situation.
I don't know why Carolina didn't, after the first one, realize, okay, whatever the snap count was, he knows what it is now. We got to do something different. He timed that thing perfectly. Does Green Bay, and Rodgers will have a lot to do with this, what chance do you give them at Seattle Sunday?
It's a hard place to play football at. It's the loudest stadium. That 12th man is ridiculous. They're a team right now. They struggled early on, but they found out, who they are, and they found their identity and found out what won them games last year, and made them the Super Bowl champions. And like I said from day one, I don't see anyone beating them right now, just because of the bond that they have with each other. You can see the excitement on the field when those guys go out there, and they're jumping around, they're dancing, they're everyone's into it. Everyone's excited, so they're playing for something. And I'm not saying that Green Bay, is going into an impossible situation, but they're definitely, doing something. I don't know what it is. The
12th man, you mentioned it, the Redskins. I've been out there twice because the last two playoff games on the road for the Redskins back in 05 and 07 were at Seattle. And you're right, it's louder than anything I've ever heard. How much can fans, obviously fans can have a huge impact. Do we overstate that or no?
No, fans have a really big impact. I remember playing here in 2012, that Monday night game when we played the Giants. I don't remember a time where I really heard, when I was on the sideline, when their offense was on the field, and I don't remember a time where I heard someone actually talking to me. And that's how Seattle is every time. We played up there in 2011, and Rex Grossman was our quarterback, and I honestly couldn't hear anything. We went on a no huddle, and how can you go no huddle with a fullback in the game? And we did it. We were successful. We won that game, but that's just what the 12 man is about up there.
Dennis is in Northeast Washington this evening on our Lawn and Leisure Hotline. Hi, Dennis. What's up?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I just had a comment. Is it me or am I a little paranoid? It seems like these calls from these officials are being a little more when there's a game on the line. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you just didn't see these calls that's so controversial. And a lot of the guys now, it's, the taunting calls. You can't even really go full speed because obviously you can't stop him there. You hit the quarterback. It just seems like to me, the game is actually being watered down. It's really taken away from the quality of the game. Years ago, you hear a call here and now, but this season, it's been all types of calls that have actually affected the win or lose of a game. It kind of gives me like, man, is something going on here?
D.Y., thank you, Dennis. We don't have much more in this segment, but there's that sort of notion in sports that at the end of an NBA game, officials should swallow their whistles, and that let the players decide it when it gets late. Dennis is right. These are late calls. I know you mentioned the RG almost touchdown. It's a regular season game. You want to win that game. These are playoff games where the team that doesn't win, they go home. Are you surprised at this sort of how many tight, brave, frankly, calls, non-calls there are? Or should it get called the same at the end as it does in the first quarter of week 3?
I honestly can't say because going into it with the preseason, you remember how many calls there were, how many flags there were for illegal contact. So they were putting an emphasis on the game of, trying to change the game to try to protect the players. And I thought the NFL's done a great job as a guy being on the field out there trying to protect the quarterbacks. See the Tom Brady rule, that's what I call it. Some other guys call it when the defender jumps over a guy and hits the quarterbacks in the legs. It's an accurate call, but some of the things, like you said, you talk about a defenseless receiver. It's hard, being a former defensive player, it's hard trying to stop your feet and, to try to gather yourself and put yourself in a proper position to try to, tackle a guy. But if you miss that guy, you're in the streets. If you tackle a guy, you get fined. And take it from a guy that's been fined twice, for a large amount, even this season. You just try to be better. And the NFL's trying to, they're trying to implement that rule. And I thought they're doing a good job. At the end of the day, like I said, I can't criticize anything that they're doing. They are determining a lot of, the outcome of a lot of games. But put anyone in that situation, you don't know what you're going to do. You can't really react to the decisions that they're making because you don't know what you would do in that situation. And everyone's screaming. All the Cowboys fans are saying it's a catch, but everyone else is saying it's incomplete. So Cowboys fan versus the world is 1% versus everyone else. So
last week Cowboys fans said it's just one play. It doesn't decide a whole game. And then yesterday happened, and it was one play, and it sure felt like it decided the whole game. What is our play of the game from the weekend? A lot to choose from. We will have that after this. Don't go away.
Here is our Normandy Carpet Care player of the game. Tom Brady may go down as the most clutch quarterback of all time. Here, the game-winning touchdown to Brandon LaFell. The Patriots beat the Ravens, and Tom Brady to Brandon LaFell had your Normandy Carpet Care player of the game. Wow,
what a game that was Saturday. I mean, that was an instant classic, DY. The Ravens are a very tough football team, especially in the postseason. Patriots figured out a way to win. The 4 quarterbacks that are still playing, and there were actually, of the 8 quarterbacks that were playing going into this weekend, are all really good. We got Tom Brady. You've got Andrew Luck, you've got Aaron Rodgers, and you've got Russell Wilson. It shows that you've got to have a really good one to go far. D.Y., I'm going to put you on the spot. If you had to pick one of these guys, like you're picking teams, and you got the first pick, and you got to win a game or two, which one of these guys you want?
It's a tough question. I'm going to take all 4 of them, but I have to probably go Tom Brady because Aaron Rodgers is hurt right now.
Over the young guys, even though the young guys are more mobile than Tom is now.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about mobile. I'm just worried about wins right now, and I'm looking at the consistency over the history of the game. And, Tom Brady is one of the guys that's well-respected. All 4 of these guys are really good and elite quarterbacks in the NFL. But if you said if I had to choose one, I'm going to go Tom Brady.
I might go with Russell Wilson because of that mobility, and he's so smart, and he seems to sort of, I don't want to say manage the game because that makes it sound like somehow he's just sort of getting by. He sort of runs the game. They all do, really. But what a quarterback foursome we have heading into this weekend. Over in the AFC, DY, it's going to be the Patriots at home against Andrew Luck and the Colts coming to Foxborough. How much of a chance do you give the Colts?
I give them a big chance. I mean, no one gave them a chance to go in there to Denver to win a game on the road and Mile High. You can't breathe. I'm gonna go to New England. I'm gonna stay home with those guys.
Deacon, Al, and Johnny, please stay on the line. We will try to get to your calls on after the game with DY. Right after this, don't go away. Tom Brady. Welcome back after the game with Darrel Young. In this case, it's after the games, plural, looking ahead to more games next Sunday. Deacon is in Southeast Washington. Hi, Deacon. What's up? Hey, Deacon.
Listen, we have a new general manager. Just a word of advice to Bruce Allen. We know the legacy still lives with him as far as his father being Super Bowl coach and everything. He's the son of a Super Bowl coach. But can he stay up front and let the guy that's going to recruit the players actually go into the country, to the cornfield, go into the woods and see these players play, see film, put faces with the films and recruit the right kind of player. Get some of these corn-fed boys that know how to play football, know how to read defenses, and they come from small schools. They come, look, the Russell Wilson type, fifth-round draft choices that now win Super Bowls.
Okay, Deacon, thank you for the call. Deacon wants his Redskins corn-fed and hand-spanked, DY. You eat a lot of corn, DY?
I do.
Is that how you got to be, DY?
I do.
Yeah, I get the sense, and you haven't met him yet, neither have I, but I get the sense that this move is all about letting the new fellow, Scott McCloughan, pick the players, and that Bruce Allen will be the president and oversee lots of things. But my sense, DY, is that this fellow will be the architect of the roster, and I recommend you get to know him darn soon.
Absolutely.
Tell him how much corn you've had. Corn-fed and hand-spanked, DY. A core guy on the Washington Redskins. All the fans know that. DY, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back next Monday, and then we can talk Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
I'm psyched. You're not going to wear that Cowboys tie, are you?
Oh, my God.
I'll be back at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and did they get robbed? And we'll also look ahead and take more of your calls to the football's Final Four. See you at 9 o'clock, folks.